undefeated in the ring, but outside of it, my boy keep taking L's, man. Gervonta Davis, he was arrested July 11th, 2025 in Florida. You know, he allegedly slapped his ex, caused her some type of injury while he was picking up the kids. The thing that doesn't look so good is our good brother Gervonta Davis has domestic incidents from 2020 and 2022. Yeah, he's an undefeated boxer. What I'm saying to you fellas is sometimes you gotta take a loss in order to get the win, or you gotta take a loss in order to stay winning. I'm starting to think, man, like with a lot of celebrities if you just think over the past few years about all of the celebrities who had allegations against them for a lot of time. And let me first by saying I don't condone that at all. I think whoever does something like that needs to go under the jail. But as we all know, everybody's seeing the same stuff. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be a celebrity or be somebody that has a lot of money and manipulate people and take advantage of people and just be a complete, you know what I'm saying, asshole. I'm not saying that that's not possible. But what I'm saying is a lot of times we see men put themselves in positions where common sense should have took over at some point in time, right? It's like so many celebrity men, and it's not just celebrities. I mean, they're people just like everybody else. Most men, especially men with money, lacks discipline, you know, when it comes to your little head and not your big head. Although most people, and this is what I believe most men want to become rich and famous so they can have access to the most beautiful women in the world. I really believe that that's the whole purpose of why most men are motivated to get money. And so once a man, and when you look at athletes, when you look at rappers, or if you look at, you know, young celebrities who have come into money earlier on in life, their downfall a lot of times is behind a woman. And not necessarily behind that woman, it's behind the lack of ability to think beyond your little head. And as men, we're wired to have that drive to want to, you know, pursue a woman or be intimate with a woman, right? But sometimes we allow that to destroy us, especially men of status, men of success. And you would think, because now I made a lot of mistakes and I don't always make the right decisions, but logically, you know, I don't have celebrity status type of money or anything like that, but I've done pretty well for myself. I have sense enough to know, you know, a woman is using me for X, Y, and Z, or I would be cautious to have money, right? A man who a woman perceives to have money, you almost have to be careful because the internet has opened the door to access, you know, for men and women, right? When you look at Instagram, TikTok, when you look at a lot of these platforms, the reason why a lot of this content made by IG models is it blows up so much and they have millions of followers is because it takes advantage of how a man is naturally wired. And you have some men who can look at that as a man, okay, that's nice, and keep it pushing. And then you have some men who, oh man, I want to spend some money on that. I want to throw some money on her OnlyFans. You know, you got different types of men out here. But at the end of the day, we all men, and at the end of the day, we're all wired the same way. And that's to be sexually attracted to a woman, right? And a beautiful woman. And so that's all you really see. That's not all you really see, but a large portion of those content creators have millions of followers. Now, we all know why. Because it plays on the male's natural wiring, right? Where things become to get a little crazy, especially when the man forgets, especially, and I'm talking about a man of status, because I don't want to forget. I'm gonna circle back around to the Gervonta Davis situation, right? But I just want to get this off my chest first. A man who has a lot to lose, even myself, and I'm nowhere near a Gervonta Davis, but I mean, I'm not no peon either, right? And so the way I would think, especially in the dating scene today, based on what I see, is women are out here for the sole purpose of what they can get out of a man. And I hate to, man, we all see what's going on, man. But let me say this: I don't believe that, like, if you really outside, I ain't talking about being outside all the time, but if you get outside of the internet and Facebook and Instagram, and you actually go to places and go do things, I don't think that what is going on the internet is true. Now, maybe it is, maybe it's not. A transactional relationship, to me, is something that's easy to spot, right? It's easy to spot. I mean, y'all know that a lot of, if you see a woman online, and hey, I don't got nothing against it. I don't got nothing against it. I'm a man. Hey, I don't have nothing against it, but where things get kind of messed up is when you really think about it. Like, let's really just think about it. Like, as a man, you as a man love to look at a beautiful woman. That's how we're wired, right? We can look at it, cool, whatever, right? That's how we wired. If you see a very beautiful woman online, right, Instagram, like we all see, and every picture is of this woman in some sort of provocative type of outfit, right, that's clearly displaying pretty much everything, right? At the end of the day, most of them are doing that, and the end result is a monetary gain. Man, women smart. Women have always known that most men's weakness is their thirst. Most women know, since this is the oldest profession ever, right? Most women at a very young age understand that most men are weak behind their thirst for a woman can overtake all logic. This applies whether you're a poor man, middle income, rich, wealthy, whatever. At the end of the day, a man is how a man is. But the difference is, some men have discipline, but most men don't. Because when you get a certain amount of money, sometimes too much of something can destroy you, right? Too much of anything can destroy you. Peace to our sister Whitney Houston. She was very talented, but she was also an addict, unfortunately, right? And she had the type of money to be able to feed her addiction for many, many years. And so her access to that amount of money was used to destroy her. She used that access to that money to supply a habit, which destroyed her in the end. Some people say it was foul play. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But, that's not what I'm here to debate. Sometimes too much of something will destroy a certain individual. That's why everybody can't have money. Everybody can't be rich. Because when you have money, money shows people who you really are at your core. Once you have money, once you be around. Now, I've been around, not like that, but I've been around and interacted with ball players and celebrities, right? I feel like how a lot of people have voiced their opinions when it comes to some of these type of people. They were disappointed when they met their hero, because their hero wasn't who they thought they were. Their hero was an asshole. Their hero was, a very, just a non-pleasant person, right? We gotta stop thinking that money makes you a good person, or money makes you real, or money makes you whatever. Money don't do nothing but bring out who you truly are deep down inside. And so if you somebody that get money, got a good heart and you like to help, you gonna help people, man. If you somebody that get money and you like to fund your habits, whether it's a habit with women or whatever, that's what you're gonna do with your money. And so a lot of celebrity men or a lot of successful men who know they have access to women, especially in today, because most women are transactional, right? The temptation is so strong. It's almost like a drug. Right? I mean, some people are addicts. You know, when it comes to being with different women, like that's an addiction. Same thing, it's on both sides, right? But it's different. It's different when you have status, the type of status that Gervonta Davis had, right? We saw this with, I mean, I'm not here to discuss who felt they was guilty or not. You know, Bill Cosby, Diddy. We already pretty much, but I'm just saying it's a pattern. I mean, you see, they saying stuff about Tyler Perry. They're saying stuff about, I mean, every year, every few months, it's somebody else. It's another celebrity where someone has put some type of allegations on them. And it seems like every week or other week, a woman has put an allegation against an athlete, particularly in the NFL, right? You know, and a lot of these guys are young guys getting money for the first time. I'm not saying everybody is like this, but I truly believe that women develop game way before men. So a woman's game, especially earlier in life, especially with a younger guy, a woman's game is going to be on a whole nother level, especially a beautiful woman who has interacted with beautiful women have access, the type of access that, you know, most men would never get and most average women can't get. They have access to be around certain types of men, right? And so they see these guys and, you know, sometimes, like you hear Brittany Renner, you hear a lot of these notorious IG models say that getting a bag out of athlete is easy. From week in and week out, another athlete take a L because one of these women did, you know, a woman that they've dealt with has married them for 6 months and then divorced them just to try to get the bag, or have gotten pregnant by them only to break up with them conveniently before the baby so that they can try to get child. It don't take a genius to see the money play. You know, week after week, we see different ball players lose millions and millions of dollars because they wasn't thinking. They was thinking with the wrong head. I feel like once you get to a certain level, you have a certain responsibility. Most people at that level, they're probably taking care of a lot of people. I can pick up a vibe and almost feel the intentions of somebody, or feel if somebody is not really. Everybody has been through that, where you can kind of feel that somebody's energy kind of off. And I just feel like a lot of guys get so caught up in these beautiful women who are strategically, in some cases, setting them up so that they can get the bag. And when they realize that they're going to almost fumble the bag, they're going to resort to desperate measures. They may use the kid as a weapon. This happens whether you're a celebrity or not. They may do and say things to make you get overly upset so that you will do something physical to them. You know, they may try to do something to get you riled up so that you'll get physical with them, because in the eyes of the law, most of the time the man is going to lose. You got to first know the type of person that you're dealing with. Know what status you on. Know what type of woman you dealing with, and know the risk that comes with the type of woman that you dealing with. If you hitting a beautiful woman up on IG or whatever, and you gonna fly out there, whatever, you know what I'm saying, it's understood. Man, like, really think about it. Like, don't ignore shit. Like, if it's a woman like young brother who played for the Pelicans, can't think of his name, but you know, he a chick that he was dealing with came out and exposed him because, you know, he was paying her like $20,000 a month, just a crazy number, man. And when she felt like she was gonna lose that bag, she went to desperate measures. She gonna drag his name. She gonna ruin your reputation. And that's the common play. I'm gonna say something, I'm gonna make this dude put his hands on me, he gonna lose all this money. Like, you have to realize who you are at the end of the day. Any man that got something going on and they successful, you got some good women out there, but you have to learn how to disseminate the women that's trying to get the bag out of you versus a genuine woman. And a lot of my young brothers, my young athletes that get into the bag, my young celebrity dudes, rappers, whatever. Man, I'm seeing this too much. It's almost like you gotta be cautious with anybody you deal with. And the number one thing you should be thinking is, like, even if you get provoked, sometimes a woman even physically put their hands on you. Now you gotta think, all right, what do I have to lose? If you decide to get emotional or let your anger take over, what does that result? It results in a loss of millions of dollars. And you gotta ask yourself, man, was that worth it? And this is what I mean. Yeah, a lot of women use the same tact. For my fellas out there who probably been through a few relationships, after you've been with a few women, you've dated a few women, you know that most women are, I don't like to say all because you have exceptions, but most women use the same tact. You have women who target guys like this, man, Gervonta Davis. And they know, like, don't think that they haven't set up ways to get their bag if things go south. Don't think that a lot of these types of women are just gonna let their bag walk away without them trying something. Whether it's provoking you into you putting your hands on them, whether it's them using the kids as a weapon, threatening to call the cops on you, or beating themselves up saying that you did it. Like, I don't know how, a lot of y'all probably wasn't alive when the movie Thin Line Between Love and Hate came out with Martin Lawrence. Y'all youngsters, man, y'all check that movie out, man. Probably don't see cases like that extreme, but a lot of women like that, they not just gonna, they set you up because you got the bag. That's why, man, it's so dangerous to have kids with so many different women. Yeah, they're beautiful, and I'm not saying that a beautiful woman can't be smart, but a lot of times when we see these news stories like Gervonta Davis' story, when things go wrong, we know that guys like this has access to women, practically throw themselves at guys like this, beautiful women. When you rich and famous, you experience women at a different level. You see a side of women that the average person doesn't see. A lot of times, I feel like these guys forget how hard they work to get to where they are. And I think that these guys forget about the everyday stories that we see where a woman has, he, did this to me or whatever. And they lose, man. Look at Shannon Sharp. The little 19-year-old chick that Shannon Sharp was dealing with caused Shannon Sharp to lose millions. Millions, man. I don't have nothing against two consenting adults or whatever. I'm not trying to get into all of that. But what I'm saying is, you really have to be cautious of how you move when you move it like this. You have to almost think, you have to feel like, even if it's not happening, at all times I'm being recorded. I mean, I kind of feel like this. Like, I kind of live my life like this, and I'm not even nowhere on Gervonta Davis level. You have to move like this. Some of us wasn't taught, or we didn't see how a man and woman interacted with each other. Because, unfortunately, a lot of us ain't from single family households, right? That's where you get a lot of men who are emotional. They have emotions and then they react with emotion. Man, a man can't react the same way as a woman. It don't turn out the same way. A man has everything to lose. You have to walk away sometimes in order to keep from losing sometimes everything.